Good morning, guys. Welcome to the Art Studio and Coffee Loft. Let's walk on in the front doors and try Marathon's best coffee. And afterwards, you can get started creating some art with us. Come on, let's go. Welcome back to the Art Studio and Coffee Loft, everybody. Thanks for joining me again, as this morning we enjoy an Americano coffee. A black coffee, no cream or sugar. This is a coffee. It's a delicious way to really taste the coffee itself, taste the difference between different coffee beans. But we get a lot of questions on what is an Americano, and can't I just have my cup of coffee that I'm used to? Well, there's 3 reasons why we serve you an Americano, and I'm going to explain those to you today. They have a few things to do with time and how long it takes to make an Americano versus a drip coffee. It has to do with the function, how the drip coffee makes its coffee is a little bit less precise than we are able to offer you here. And then the taste. We think that the Americano, we prefer the extra flavors that you get and the nice robust cup of coffee based off of a shot of espresso plus hot water, which is what I've got here. So first, for an Americano, we'll grind fresh beans. Today I'm using a single origin Ethiopian blend that is delicious. We were going to run that through our espresso machine and make a nice long shot of espresso with it. We'll have boiling water prepped and poured into our coffee cup, and then we pour the espresso on top of that, creating what you see here, an Americano. Add cream or sugar or flavor to taste, and you've got a standard cup of coffee. Now, this doesn't take very long at all. Back home, you might have something like Mr. Coffee, where you're going to put the coffee grounds in the basket here, turn on the machine or prep it to turn on for you in the morning, and it's gonna make you a nice full carafe of coffee. That's great, but that took a long time to do, and here at the Art Studio and Coffee Loft, we want to serve you as quick as possible. Second, when this sprays the hot water on top of your coffee grounds inside, it's not entirely accurate. It's not like a nice rainfall, it's kind of a spray. Some coffee gets more water on it, some coffee gets hotter, some might not even get covered with water at all, providing an uneven extraction. When you're extracting espresso and you've tamped it properly and ground it properly, you get an even pressure pushing through your espresso, creating a nice full-bodied espresso shot that's removed most of the coffee solids and oils that you're tasting, and that's what you're after in coffee, is that flavor as well as the caffeine too. Now, the decaf coffee comes out just as great in an Americano, just minus the caffeine. But when you're using a drip coffee machine like this, or even a French press, or a traditional pour-over that you can handle yourself, your coffee comes out different than it does in an espresso machine. A, it takes longer. B, the process of making it is different. There's no pressure. There's only gravity moving that water through your coffee, and in an espresso machine you have around 16 to 19 bar of pressure, and at regular atmospheric sea level where we are here in the Florida Keys, we've got 1 bar slowly moving that drip through your coffee. So we can make this faster, we can get more coffee solids, providing a more robust coffee drink, and because of that, I just think it tastes fantastic. I encourage you to come on into the Art Studio and try an Americano that we grind fresh for you using your choice of coffee beans, and then we pour hot water and the espresso together, creating a beautiful, delicious, regular black coffee. Add cream or sugar to your taste. Where did this come from? Well, that's a fun story and a little bit of cultural lore. Back in the World Wars, especially World War II, a lot of American GIs were stationed over in Italy, and honestly, they didn't really like the taste of espresso. Italians were making espresso shots that were nice and short and intense, or cappuccinos, which have a lot of foam and a lot of milk, which is not what Americans were used to drinking, which was a drip coffee system or a French press. So, what those Italians did is they decided, well, you know what, we'll give those GIs a cup of hot water and some espresso and tell them to mix it together and sort of lighten that espresso. And you know what? We loved it. It was great. We got more of that full body. We got it nice and fast at those espresso bars that Italia is famous for. And here we go. We've got our very own Americano, made for Americans by Italians originally, transferred back across the pond here to the United States, where you're finding this drink gain in popularity, again, because we can make it quick for you, get a fantastic amount of coffee flavor in here, and it just is delicious. So come on into the art studio to try Marathon's best coffee, whether that's a fantastic espresso drink in an Americano or a latte, an iced coffee made with espresso or with our homemade strong coffee cold brew, or even a decaf or frozen drink for the kids too. Come on in and try Marathon's best coffee with us.